Hi, and welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Tonight we'll begin with a review of the Township Council meeting held Tuesday evening, and with an excerpt from Congressman Jim Florio's recent address to the Middlesex County Environmental Coalition. Also, a quick look at Channel 8's continued winter sports coverage with John Megliero. East Brunswick Arts Coordinator Dolly Vasta will give us an update on performances in the township, and on health facts, Ken Shalhoub speaks with Thelma Thiel, President of the American Liver Foundation. And we'll wrap up with Consumer Affairs Director Adrian Eisner and information about choosing care for your children. But first, we'll take a quick look at what's on Channel 8 next week. We'll start the week off Monday morning at 10 a.m. with Lenore Kulik and Exercise to Tighten and Firm Everywhere on Look Great, Feel Great. At 10:30, LeVar Burton hosts Reading Rainbow, produced by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Also for the children, the Libraries of Middlesex presents Kids Stuff with Fifi the Mime at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. At 7:30 Tuesday night, John Megliero, host of Sports Talk, provides commentary for the girls' basketball game taped Friday night, the 23rd. Wednesday afternoon at 3, children's librarian Marilyn Miller meets with local youngsters for stories from the library. At 7:30 Wednesday night, Dolly Vasta speaks with the executive and artistic directors of Crossroads Theater. At 8 p.m., more winter sports with East Brunswick playing Woodbridge in boys basketball. We'll be back Thursday at 7 and 8 with an all-new This Week in East Brunswick. And at 7:30, a township special on wildlife in our landscape. At 8:30 p.m., East Brunswick takes Madison Central to the mat in wrestling. And watch the Channel 8 program guide for repeats of all of our shows. At Tuesday night's Township Council meeting, Councilman William Kirk presented a possible solution to the gridlocking problem of Route 18 and Turnpike Exit 9. The bypass of Route 18, described by Kirk, was suggested by Councilman Jack Sinagra earlier this month.
Route 18 is carrying about 280,000 vehicles per day currently, 1,500 garbage trucks. It's in a state of gridlock in the morning, headed westbound, state of gridlock headed eastbound on 18 in the evening. At the interchange at exit 9, the stacking that takes place within the toll plaza itself and the approaches to the roadway are also at gridlock. And traffic approaching in the evening to exit 9 backs up onto the main line of the turnpike itself and places a great many people in danger, not only those who are waiting to get off at the interchange, but also those who are traveling southbound at 60 miles an hour. Now, about 2 months ago, Jack Sinagra called me from work and said, "Hey Bill, I was traveling on the turnpike this morning and coming up to the Brereton River Bridge, I noticed there was a ramp that went down off of the bridge. What's it for?" And I said, "It's for the troopers to go ahead and do a 180 to head southbound and go back on their tour of duty again." So I said, "Well, what do you think about the possibility of going to the turnpike to discuss with them the potential utilization of those ramps or an adaptation of those ramps to have the garbage trucks taken off of Route 18 and have it mandatory that they be forced to use the turnpike?" So I said, "Well, there's nothing lost. I can call Bill Flanagan. I may get my head handed to me." And I did. I called him, and I got my head handed to me. But what Bill did agree to was that we would have a meeting set up with himself and with Chairman Sullivan. And that meeting took place on January the 9th. Well, in between the period of time when Jack first called me on the phone to start all of this into motion, there was a great deal of thought process that went into it. And it slowly but surely evolved that we had the potential solution to the double problem, the traffic and the garbage trucks. And I'd like to flip this board over now so that we can see an aerial photograph that we prepared. It's at a scale of 1 inch by 300 feet so that the detail is quite clear. And I do want to go into some length to show you as the public and to show council the intent of what is behind this, and then I'd like to get into the meeting that took place with the Turnpike authorities on January the 9th. So if you give me a minute, I'd like to turn it around. Jack, could you give me one? Now, can you folks see over in this corner here? I'll keep back as far as I can. Now, let me run some orientation. The top of the aerial photograph is north. This is Route 18, headed toward New Brunswick. This is the toll plaza at exit 9, and here's the turnpike coming north-south. The Raritan River is located here, and this is the Lawrence Brook. There's Tower Center, there's the administration building and the roundhouse for the state troopers. And this is Edgeboro landfill located down in here, a total of about 255 acres. Now, one of the things that became evident to us when we obtained this photograph was that there could be a routing established to bypass the westerly bound traffic on Route 18 and have it make a connection to the turnpike. I see Mr. Bodner is in the audience here this evening, and there will be some things I would like to address you personally as we go on through here. Now, the redevelopment agency has a great deal of interest in one particular property located down in here. This is the Old Bridge Turnpike in here and the Tice's Lane Transportation Center. The current temporary park and ride lot occupies what is now known as the pit, which is a former clay pit that was operated by Sarah Fisher many years ago. Starting off in the area of the pit, i.e. in the vicinity of Tice's Lane, it's proposed that a two-way roadway be built that would start out from roughly in front of the Tice's Lane Transportation Center. And remember, for those people who have property down in here, this is schematic and it's been presented in that form and in that light to the Turnpike Authority, so please, nobody panic. It would then go across the pit, cross Old Bridge Turnpike at grade with a signal-controlled intersection. Old Bridge Turnpike itself, we would propose to cut down to eliminate the amount of fill that might be required for the new roadway to cross the pit, and that the northbound traffic on the Old Bridge Turnpike could then turn left at that traffic-controlled intersection, go out to Route 18 to a traffic-controlled intersection here, and have it head westbound on 18. The traffic would not continue on through to the Edgeboro Road, Old Bridge Turnpike, Route 18 intersection, for which an intersection improvement design has been submitted by Goodkind and O'Day consultants to the township at a construction cost alone of $3 million, not to mention the land acquisition and the demolition of businesses. It then would enter down into the meadows through a portion of South River. I believe I'm correct on that, Mr. Bodner, am I not? Okay. This treed area in here is in the borough of South River. Coming out of South River, it would traverse the rear line of industrial properties that front on Edgeboro Road. Here's Edgeboro Road coming down here. Here's the proposed connector road and the rear property lines. It would continue on through, bend around toward the north, and then intersect with the turnpike in a ramping system that has yet to be determined as being feasible by the turnpike engineers. Some of the things that immediately come out as benefit that could be derived from such a connector road. To begin with, all of the truck traffic and employee traffic that is generated to and from the Edgeboro industrial area could utilize marginal service roads located parallel with the connector road and provide direct access to the turnpike or provide direct access to points east and south of East Brunswick. At the Tice's Lane Transportation Center, there could be direct access for the buses to go to and from the turnpike without any interference of having to go through that 280,000 vehicle a day area. The redevelopment agency would have direct access to a major connector road without going on Route 18. The borough of South River could construct either on an extension of Gates Avenue or on the old railroad right-of-way that Sarah and Fisher had that was utilized when that pit was being excavated, to run a connector road over to here that would have a double benefit. Number one, it would give the borough an opportunity to increase their tax base by having industrial ratables developed along the connector road. And it also would provide a relief route for traffic coming over from Parlin and Sayreville that would not have to utilize Prospect Street or Main Street South River. It could go ahead and go on that connector road to make that connection either north or south to the turnpike. Industrial development along Edgeboro Road would be greatly enhanced for the remaining portion of it. The relief of exit 9 would divert the traffic that would normally come down in here and enter into the toll plaza, could come down in here on this ramping arrangement, which has not yet been reviewed by the turnpike, But it could come down, and this ramping arrangement go underneath the Raritan River Bridge, go on down through here, and go to the east. The benefits of it, we think, are tremendous. The relief from traffic congestion on 18, the relief from the air pollution and the noise pollution on 18 would be measurably improved. And we think that this would offer, for the first time, a surgical decision to cure the problems on 18 that lie between Tice's Lane and Exit 9 instead of Band-Aid solutions. So we did want to go ahead and present that to council, get your opinion. We're going to need additional assistance from the East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce, from the Raritan Valley Regional Chamber, and also from our representatives in government. Now, Mr. Sullivan, when we presented this to him, expressed his appreciation to Councilman Sinagra and myself by saying that this was the first time that anybody had come forward with a potential solution to a problem that nobody else seems to be able to assess. We hope that that kind of atmosphere will continue.
The proposal was favorably received by councilmen and residents present at the meeting. The council also discussed the township's health services contract with Middlesex County and talked about the creation of a township department of health. During the public portion, Joseph Bodner of South River asked the council members to help solve the environmental problems caused by the Edgeboro landfill. Councilman Joseph Hudak said that a township health department would help take care of the problems associated with Edgeboro and mentioned last Sunday's gathering of individuals and groups concerned for the environment. Congressman Jim Florio was asked to give a broad-based national perspective on the problems of waste disposal before members of the Middlesex County Environmental Coalition.
Let me touch on 3 or 4 items that are cause for concern. And as I said, I've worked in Washington to frame policies for the nation, as is my responsibility as a United States Congressman. But it is particularly disconcerting to work as hard as you possibly can for national policies, and then to find out that in your own state, those policies are not being implemented in the way that they should be and to the full degree that they should be, so that in my congressional district and in my state, we see a lesser amount of protection than one would hope for from national policies that technically and academically are on the books in a strong fashion. If there's anything I've learned in the last 6 years, it's that you can pass all the laws that you want to, you can appropriate all the money that you want to implement the laws. But if you don't have people in charge of implementing the laws who have a passion and a zeal and an aggressiveness to go to the heart of the goal the laws were designed to achieve, you haven't got all that you're entitled to. And unfortunately, that has been the case in the last 5 or 6 years. Let me touch on Superfund. Superfund is the program that's designed to provide the authority and the monies to clean up the multitude of toxic waste dumps that we have around the nation. More, as I said, in New Jersey than any other state. The first 5 years of the program, 1981 to 1986, we had none of the priority sites cleaned up. I think those who read the papers know in part why that was the case. I don't know if you recall the name Burfoot or the name Lavelle. Those were the 2 people who were involved in the program. One went to jail, and the other one was driven out of office because of actions that were taken that were designed not to implement the law that they were supposed to be implementing, but to thwart the implementation of the law that they were supposed to be in charge of. Well, to make a long story short, some of us have been working very hard to have the law renewed after the first 5-year expiration period, to have it renewed and to make the changes to ensure that in the next 5-year installment, we're going to have a better rate cleanup. In a sense, what we've done is to reduce the ability of the agency. And keep in mind that this is a program that is to be implemented in a joint fashion. EPA and in New Jersey, DEP are in charge of using this law and the funds to get those sites cleaned up. And what we're doing is reducing their discretion, because in the past, when we provided discretion to those agencies, we gave them that discretion because we assumed that they would have a good faith effort to go forward in an orderly pace. Well, we got no good faith. Now we're putting schedules into the law. We assumed that when we told those agencies to clean up those sites, that they would clean them up to some common sense standards. We got no common sense. So we have now written into the law objective, verifiable standards to answer the question, how clean is clean? We have done that, and we are now starting out on the next installment. We're going to be working very hard to try to keep the agency's feet to the flame to make sure those things get done.
Congressman Florio went on to speak about the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, about reducing the amount of waste we generate, and about the importance of even-handed enforcement of the laws designed to protect the environment. We're continuing with our coverage of high school winter sports with a few minutes from the wrestling meet last night against Edison. John Magliaro and ex-high school wrestler Dave Lewis covered the meet, which will be shown in its entirety tonight, Thursday the 22nd at 8:30 p.m.
He's got to put the pressure on Dewey here now, make him move. And the crowd is into it. He's got Dewey blocked that on back points. He's working around. He's got plenty of time, 150. Toto using his leverage there. Keep Dewey on his back and off balance. He's not, neither wrestler in particularly good position there. Dewey may come out with an escape or a reversal here, but Toto scored what would appear to be 3 back points as the referee signals. You're right, Dave. He's got 3. It's 4-0 Toto. Toto doesn't really have much there unless he can get him off balance, and Dewey doesn't appear to be fighting it. He seems to be contented sitting there. He's working his hips up, trying to free him around. Taylor should get behind here. Toto has to control an ankle because Dewey can explode any time. 1:05 to go. This is third period action. Out and around. Out of bounds. Dewey almost had that reversal there. If they had not been going out of bounds, he would have had that reversal. In any event, he was given 1 point for an escape. That makes it 4-1, 56 seconds. Toto in the lead. As I said, Dewey is not a great endurance wrestler, and he's going to make mistakes in this third period. He just got away with one there. Yes, he did. He's pushing, though. He's using everything he has, and Toto is really putting the pressure on him. 44 seconds. The crowd is really into this bout. Toto keeping to the outside, moving him around, seeing that he's winded. Keeping him moving. He has that underhook there. He may try to pull him one way and shoot. There's that fireman's carry of Dewey looking for a single with that there. Toto's in good position if he can get behind him here. He has a cradle, but he hasn't gotten to the proper position to get 2 points for a takedown. Under 20 seconds. No points are worth to get. Down. He's given him 2 points. Got him now, 6-1 Toto. 6-1 score. Toto could tip him here with a tilt. 5 seconds. The points around. 1, that's it. And he gets an additional point, 7-1. Nice win for ref Toto. Very strong match for Toto.
Again, the match can be seen tonight in its entirety, Thursday the 22nd at 8:30 p.m.
Hi, I'm Dolly Vasta for East Brunswick Arts Line. I wanted to bring all of you out there up to date on what's happening in the arts in East Brunswick. First of all, if you're suffering from the post-Christmas blues and the weather is kind of yuck and you just want to get away from it for a little while, why don't you head on over to Playhouse 22? There are still 2 weekends left of that wonderful and hilarious Kaufman and Hart comedy, Once in a Lifetime. It's directed by Don Gordon. It'll be running Friday, Saturday nights, and Sunday matinees. And the phone number over at the Playhouse is 254-3939. Don't miss this. You'll really enjoy it. Now, I'm sure that most of you got, in fact, I'm sure that everyone got a copy of East Brunswick Today, and in it is an article on the Goldman's Nork Dance Theater, and they're going to be performing at the East Brunswick High School. Now, it's in celebration of Black History Month, and it's being sponsored by the East Brunswick Arts Commission and the East Brunswick Schools Cultural Council. It will be on Saturday night, February 21st at 8 o'clock. That's February 21st at 8 o'clock, and then we have a snow date for the following day, February 22nd, which is a Sunday at 3 o'clock. This is a fabulous black dance troupe, and it's called the Goldman's Nork Dance Theater. Because we have a grant from the state, the tickets are really at a marvelous price. Students and seniors $2.50 and adults $4. Now, the tickets have just been finished and they're at my office, up in the Arts Coordinator's office at the Municipal Building. You can call me at 390-6825. Don't miss this troupe. Alfred Gallman, who founded this troupe, was a member of the Alvin Ailey troupe, and this is an offshoot of the Alvin Ailey troupe. It's a marvelous dance group. I have seen them, and I'm telling you, you're in for a treat. Well, that's about the end of this week in East Brunswick as far as the Arts Line goes. I'll be back with you in a couple of weeks, and in the meantime, take care.
And now for Health Facts with host of Let's Talk Health, Ken Shalhoub.
We're speaking with Thelma King Thiel, President and Chief Operating Officer of the American Liver Foundation. Thelma, thanks for being with us. Could you please tell us briefly what the American Liver Foundation does and how our viewers can get involved if they choose?
Well, I think the American Liver Foundation is really the voice of the liver. It's a voice in Washington to educate the legislator that there is a need for more research. We provide information for patients and the public so that they have a better understanding of their disease or of just what the liver does. This liver is a non-complaining organ and people don't really know very much about it. It's one of the most complicated and technical organs in the body. We need to know a lot more about it, so we need to have more research done.
Mm-hmm. And the Liver Foundation helps families afterwards if they have liver problems?
Well, if you found out that you had a liver problem and you didn't know where a good liver specialist was, you could call our office, and we have a listing of liver specialists in every area of the country. We also have a listing of where the liver transplants are being done. We could refer you there. We can help with the people who are having transplants by putting them in touch with someone else so that they can have an understanding of what it's like before they go through it, because there's a lot of fear involved there. We have a transplant fund to help folks who need extra dollars to pick up some of the extra costs that aren't covered by insurance. So we have a variety of things that we're doing, and of course we have a network of chapters across the nation with volunteers helping us with those efforts.
Mm-hmm. And if one of our viewers wants to become involved with the Liver Foundation or call for questions, how can they get involved?
Well, our national office is here in New Jersey in Cedar Grove, and we're very proud of that. And all they have to do is call us at 201-857-2626 or drop us a line at Cedar Grove, and that's 07009. Mm-hmm. We'd be delighted to respond.
Well, Thelma, thanks for being with us. We've been speaking with Thelma King Thiel, President and Chief Operating Officer of the American Liver Foundation. I'm Ken Shalhoub for Health Facts.
Hello, and welcome to Consumer Aware. I'm Adrienne Eisner, Director of the East Brunswick Consumer Affairs Office. Good child care means a loving caregiver, a proper setting, and the right activities. Today we'll be talking about how to select the appropriate child care for your youngster. Millions of children are being cared for by someone other than a parent, either because of a single parent situation or a two-job family. Child care comes in various forms. In-home care, where a relative, friend, or someone else you hire cares for your child in your home. Or child care centers, including nursery and preschools, before and after school care, and family daycare centers. The first step in selecting the appropriate child care for you and your child is to make a list of the child care services available in the area. Ask for information from social service organizations, local community groups, physicians, employers' personnel office, churches and synagogues, the Yellow Pages, and newspaper classified section. Then make some telephone calls to get more information. Here are some questions you should ask. What days and hours are you available? How much will it cost? Are you licensed and insured? What is your experience? Is transportation available? Are meals and snacks provided? Could you give me 2 references I could call? You should choose at least 3 caregivers that seem to fit your needs and make an appointment to visit with your child. When you are visiting the care center, here are some questions to ask. What does the fee include? How many children and caregivers are there? What is the training and experience of the caregivers? What is the daily routine? When can parents visit? You should be able to visit anytime. Be very cautious of places that have restrictions on visiting times. What are some of the programs and activities? What is the policy for sick children? How are children disciplined? And what emergency procedures are followed? You should also be checking to see the health and safety features. Toys and furniture should be suitable and in good shape. Electrical outlets should have safety caps, and heaters should be covered. There should be smoke detectors and first aid equipment available. Bathrooms and food areas should be separated and clean. The outdoor play area should be safe and fenced in. Cleaning supplies and medicines should be kept well out of children's reach. And each child should have a space to store his belongings. When you get down to making your decision, you will need to consider some important factors. How much you can afford to pay, what hours the care is available, where your child will be safest and healthiest, and who will give your child the best care. Trust your feelings. If you have any doubts, make a second visit or keep looking. If you need further information, please contact us at the East Brunswick Consumer Affairs Office. We're located in the Municipal Building. We're in the office Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. The telephone number is 390-6954. Thank you for joining me on Consumer Aware. See you again next time.